press conference. Our format will remain standard. Coach Swinney will have some opening comments. Then we'll go to questions in the room, and if time permits, we'll go to questions virtually at the end. As a reminder, this is being streamed through ClemsonPlus.com, Fox Carolina, and 105.5 The Roar, so please speak up when asking questions. Coach, when you're ready, take it away.
All right. Good morning, everybody. First of all, I know it's Veterans Day today, and so just want to thank all of our men and women that allow us to be here in this amazing free country that we live in. So just thankful for the service and the sacrifice for all the great veterans that we have. So got a couple on our staff, and Daniel Boyd and Jason LeMay. So really appreciate their service. But hey, it's I know it's Tuesday in the real world, but it's Wednesday for the Tigers. It's been a blur. Obviously a late night Saturday night, and then just quick turnaround on Sunday. You lose a day of prep, but I think everybody's really handled it well, staff and players, and getting done what we got to get done. And you're going on the road, so it kind of shortens your week even more. But we're excited about it. Friday night up in Louisville. It's a great venue. Haven't been up there, I guess, since 21, but been there several times, and I think their fans do an awesome job of creating a great environment. And it's a really good football team. They're a really good team. 2 losses in overtime. I think they're really well coached on both sides of the ball. Probably our worst game last year was defensively, especially was against this team. And so big challenge for us. Again, well coached on both sides. Jeff does a great job, really leading this team. Offensively, they're a ball control type offense. A lot of formations, movements. A lot of outside zone. A lot of eye candy and movements that challenge you from a discipline standpoint, gap standpoint. They just do a great job putting it together. It's very well coordinated, very well put together. They're explosive. They got 10 plays of 50-plus yards this season. So got some home run dudes at running back that can flat out put it to you. Just in their last 3 games, they've averaged 10.2 a carry, 6.9 a carry, 4.9 a carry. So they're really built through the run and the play actions and the boots, and all the screens that come along with it. Love to get the ball to the back. They've got playmakers outside. 0 must be the number of the year here. So our 0 is really, really good. The 0 we just played last week is one of the better players you'll see in the country. And man, this kid, Bell, he's special. He is a great, great football player. They use him in a lot of ways. He's a great finisher on the ball. Great just collision balance and body control. They get it to him a lot of different ways. 5's a really good player. 2, 3. They've always done a good job with their tight ends and how they incorporate them into the play action game. So those guys, Jeff does a great job of getting them the ball. One of the better offensive lines that we've played. They play well together. They communicate. I mean, it's, again, just a good football team. Every facet. And then over on the defensive side, they're one of the best defenses in the country. Very aggressive, physical up front. They're a scheme that's going to challenge you from an aggressiveness standpoint. Got to make competitive plays. The 2 ends are really, really good players. Create a lot of problems. 50 is a high motor guy that just never shuts it off. 23 is long. He's got a lot of skill to his game. Good pass rusher. He's physical. And then the 2 guys inside, man, they're twitchy. They're maybe not as big inside as some of these guys we've played last couple ball games, but they're twitchier. So they create little different problems. But again, guys in the secondary have played a bunch of snaps. They've played a lot of snaps, so they really understand their scheme. Dangerous in the return game with number 5. He's kind of the Waldo of their offense. Like, where's number 5? He's the jet sweep guy. He's going to touch it a lot of different ways, and then again involved in the return game. So a very complete football team. Again, 2 plays away from being undefeated. So we'll have to go and play well. But we're looking forward to it. Again, proud of our team and how they competed last week. We did a lot of good things in all 3 phases, but still some things that we need to improve and quickly this week that I know they'll try to take advantage of if we don't correct some of the things, especially defensively with a couple of our mistakes from just eye discipline standpoint, because these guys, again, they challenge you a lot with their formations and bunch sets and all that type of stuff. So we'll head out. Again, today's a Wednesday practice for us, so we'll head out on Thursday in the real world here. So coming quick, and should be a great night. I think it's going to be a beautiful night up in Louisville, and I know we'll have a good crowd show up too that'll travel, and some of the people that live in that region that'll hopefully be able to be there to see the Tigers too. And with that, I'll take questions. Oh, and we are sponsored by Dasani and Coca-Cola, who I think owns both. Is that true? We're going to make up for that. All right.
Thank you to our friends at Coca-Cola.
Thank you to our friends at Coca-Cola.
You mentioned eye discipline, stuff like that. Just the coverage bus from Duke game to Florida State. Where do you feel like that got better, and where do you need?
Just communication. They were better. And I just, we changed a couple things on just how we were meeting and stuff, and I think that helped them a little bit. But I was very impressed with how they communicated all throughout the game. You could just kind of sense it. They just they're playing with more confidence. But and it's not just the secondary; it's the backers. I mean, we've got to just not get caught up in, like the 4th and 2, for example. That's not a hard play. But sometimes you can get so caught up in the situation of it's 4th and 2, and you're like, well, they're not going to throw it, and there goes your guy, So you have to just truly being disciplined with your process. There's a process every play, and the process shouldn't change. It doesn't matter if you're a linebacker, a receiver, a corner, a quarterback. There's a process every single play. That's one of the things we try to teach these guys is. The process doesn't change. It doesn't speed up. If you just stick to it, then it slows the game down for you, whether it's 4th and 2 or it's, overtime or it's the first quarter. It doesn't change. And sometimes, you can get you can let the situation change your process, and you can go from, A to E without, B, C, and D. And that's where mistakes happen. So I think that's where we just got to truly just trust our eyes, trust the process that you've been taught, and because again, I thought defensively, it was one of our better games. I mean, when 11 guys on the same page, man, they were relentless. I mean, they really affected the quarterback, and they had us on one. There was one call I would say they just had a. We were in a call, but then there was a couple other times where we just either didn't communicate well, or our eyes we weren't on the right thing, and sometimes we overplayed some things. Whether it was a 3-deep guy and they got a double post with a wheel, that puts a lot of strain on you. So just some discipline, and again, just being committed to A, B, C, D, E. Like don't change, and that's at every single position. Every position. And if you just stick to that, it creates consistency. And then you don't get sped up when some critical down comes. It's the same.
Is this Colin Sadler? He dressed, but he didn't play.
Yeah, he was available.
Okay.
Yeah, he was available, and if needed. And just we were able to hold him.
You mentioned for Cade, he had a quad contusion leading up to the FSU game. I'm just curious, how much has he been able to practice this week with that and the ankle injury?
Yeah, ankle's good. I mean, he didn't really have any problems in the game from the ankle, but he could hardly walk last week because of his thigh was so just swollen and blown up. Got better each day, and sure enough, he was right. He was ready on game day, but he's a lot better. I mean, he's a lot better than he was this time. Last week couldn't even practice, so he's doing better.
I guess you talked about promotion of Dennis Love to the head strength job. I guess was that basically completely decided in the summer? Or
Oh yeah. We didn't have a choice. It was either that or he's going to be the strength coach for the Vikings right then. So we that was a easy decision, and knew eventually that might happen, but wasn't exactly sure. With Joey, and then Joey decided that this was going to be it. And again, Joey, as y'all know, has had to battle some health things, and then the Vikings thing came along, and he interviewed for the job and was offered the job, and it was I mean, it's really unbelievable. It's really unprecedented. There's only 32 of those jobs, but for him to stay here, and so we had to kind of work that out in the summer. But he's excited, and we're all excited. This has been a dream job for him, and he's been around multiple places, NFL, different schools, but he's one of the most respected guys out. That's why he had the opportunity to go be one of 32 NFL guys. It's who he is, his reputation. Guys come from all over to train with him. He's had that. He's done that for years. So I'm happy for him, and I'm glad it worked out. And that was a tough 24 hours for him, to make a decision like that. And but it all worked out, and Joey was excited. The players are excited, and so he'll take it over in January. And but that's not new news. That's been the same news since the summer.
You came home back in 2022. Did you have an idea then that maybe you could be, someone in the future?
For sure.
And then how is he maybe different than Joey? Maybe what would kind of change?
He's very different. I mean, he's just like I said, he's been in a bunch of places, and just has he's a different person, different leadership style, different communication style. I mean, he's just different in a lot of areas, but he'll put his own. I mean, he's learned a lot from Joey, who's been amazing, for years and years and years. But he'll put his own stamp on it. And again, he's one of the most respected guys out there. That's why he's had the opportunities that he's had. And I would say, and that was kind of the decision, was you can go, but we're gonna be calling you back in January. And now, do you want to move twice? And so there was a lot of conversation. And listen, honestly, if it wasn't for Graham, he Graham had to, obviously. I mean, couldn't just be, a wink and a nod. Like, there had to be a lot of conversation with, for him to have enough comfort to stay, because that's such a huge opportunity. But this is where he wanted to be. This is what he's always wanted to do, and he's trained for it forever. He's incredibly smart, very detailed, and again, just knows the kids. They love him, and again, I mean, just has great relationships, and he has great resources all across the country that I think will be a lot of fun to see him implement here at Clemson.
Dabo, you mentioned it Saturday night, but to look up in the stadium and see the crowd and the environment and the support in spite of the season that you guys have had at times, what do you think that means to this team?
I mean, that's Clemson, and that's who they are, and it was awesome. I mean, just you could see it, you could feel it on the bus coming around. You could just feel the juice from the crowd, and it hasn't been the season that we wanted or worked for or expected, but I mean, that's Clemson. They show up, always have. I mean, this ain't the first disappointing season around here. It's the first one in a long time for us. It's been, like I said many times, since 2010 since we've had a year like this. But mean, they showed up then, and 15 years later, they're still showing up. But that's just who Clemson is. I mean, they love their Tigers, always have. There's been some lean years around here, especially back in the 90s, but I wasn't here then, but I'm sure they were showing up because that's Clemson. That's just who they are. They support the Tigers, and it means a lot to the players, to be able to have a venue like we have to play in. And so that was a great night in the Valley. Got one more.
Have you had any conversations with Clay since his 2-point conversion? And I got to ask if Kath knew that was coming and what her reaction was.
No, she had no idea. She was mad. She's like, "How come I didn't know he was?" I said, "Well, I mean, she's on a need-to-know basis." No, she had no idea. But we put it in. We put it in Tuesday, and we said, "Hey, first touchdown, we're gonna run this and get two." It really should have been just an absolute walk, but we had, Cuddy kind of came off the double team. One guy came outside, so Cuddy takes him. The linebacker stayed inside. Blake comes off it. So we got to work on our double team technique a little bit, but should have just been a walk. But a good job, we got it in there and just about enough, and it was a good momentum play. It was just something that we had on tape, and we're like, well, why not go up 2 scores? Because I mean that's what it is. Because you got to score, and now you got to go run another play for a 2-point. So it was a good momentum play for us, kind of set the tone, and then later on being up 15-0, now it's 3 scores, and so just well executed, especially by Walker Parks and Dietrich Pennington. They did a great job, and good play.
Another big night for Gideon. Just what do you continue to see out of him in an expanded role?
Confidence. Yeah, just confidence, and just really, game is slowing down for him. He's doing a good job with his protections. He's, he's confident in the passing game. They did a nice job on the screen, just his timing of it. Just the little nuances that come with being a complete player and really being able to understand the totality of what we're asking them to do at that position. Footwork, ball handling, understanding the schemes. He's got really natural vision. He's a powerful kid. He can get low to the ground. I mean, he had one run that, it looked like we were going to get 4, and he got about 8 because he's got really good, balance and really explosive lower body power.
You study Louisville every year, pretty much defensively. Do you feel like they're playing a little more coverage, a little less pressure this year? They're just not giving up a lot of explosives relative to previous years.
No, they're just playing really good. I mean, again, the secondary guys have played a lot of snaps. It's basically 4 down. A lot of 1 high safety, whether it's cover 1 or what I call cover 10, 1 hole, or some type. They are mixing in some zone concepts, but I mean they're really good defense. They get after you up front, and they can create some havoc, especially with those edge guys. But they're a ball control offense too. I think it all goes together. They kind of just the style of play. They don't make a lot of busts, not a lot of busts. Again, you can just, that's why they're, what are they, like top 15 or something like that in the country. They've done a nice job, really good. So we got to play well. We got to execute with precision against these guys.
Are you preparing for multiple quarterbacks? I don't know. Jeff Fromm is not explicitly committed to Moss as the starter as of yesterday.
I mean, they're not going to change their offense. They're going to do what they do. So we're just preparing for schematically who they are. They're very committed to run. They don't matter who's back there. They're going to run that ball. You better stop the run. Somebody's handing that ball off. You better stop the run, especially when it comes to the stretch and getting cut backside, getting cut in half, and guys gashing you on the cutback. So that ain't going to change. And so that's where it starts. And they ran through us. I mean, it was embarrassing to watch last year.
If they get their running game going, how hard does that make it on your linebackers, sort of getting sucked into the play action?
Linebackers and the safeties, all your run fitters. I mean, it's a challenge. That's why you've got to be able to minimize that. If they get a lot of comfort in the run game and they can play on schedule and be in those 3rd and 3 and 4s, you got a lot of it on your plate. So. Just what they do. So we got to have a great plan. We do, and we got to go execute it. But it starts, again, point of attack, being disruptive, understanding, what your problems are and how to attack them. A lot of conflict, and not just with it's just conflict on how they move, how they formation, how they motion, and create some challenges there. With your eye discipline. So they do a good job with it. I mean, they really do. A lot of play action, a lot of max pro where they're not releasing a lot of guys, so it looks really, really run, and then here's a shot, coming in behind it, creating space because your backers are downhill, and so you're creating some space. So, again, we got to do a good job coverage-wise, and then I think the other thing, too, you got to do a great job of changing things up. Because he's got a great feel for his offense. He's got a great feel for if this, then that. So you got to do a good job of not just giving him this. You got to have some multiple ways to defend him.
Is David easy Moang? We haven't seen him as much. Obviously, seeing Randall and Gideon is just rotation-wise not enough snaps, or the things that David has to do to something.
Just not enough snaps. I mean, it's just where we are. I mean, we'd like to get them all in there. I'd like to play them all, but we got to have. It's got to work out that way. But Gid is where he's at, and those two guys have gotten the majority of the snaps and got a good little rotation, but it's not anything against David. I think he's a great player and going to have a lot of great days ahead, but he's a redshirt freshman, and it's just where we are right now.
Vic Burley popped up on the ACC availability report. It was probable, I guess. Did he get injured in practice, or was that kind of? I guess what was that for him?
He's all right. He's okay.
You and Garrett talked for a good while about wanting to get Gideon more involved. Just given the last 2 games, how good he's looked. I guess what changed to really make that happen to get him in the game more consistently? And do you wish?
Yeah, just committing to. Well, first of all, he's got to earn it. He's got to earn it at practice, and then he's got to get it in the game and be comfortable. But going into the Duke game, we just like, hey, this is the rotation, and we just committed to the plays. Not as much series, because sometimes you can commit to a series, but it's a 3 and out. And this series went longer or whatever. So we just made it. Garrett just really committed to, hey, this is how we're going to make sure we want to rotate it. And then we had a great offensive day and really was able to get in some rhythm and created some confidence.
So what do you think's changed for Corey Gibson? I know he had the ACL coming out of high school. Like, do you think that slowed him down last year? He's kind of turned the corner.
Oh yeah, he couldn't play last year. I mean, he wasn't ready to play. I mean, he was coming off an ACL and he was just physically not really ready and mentally not ready. Not a lot of confidence. Just a redshirt freshman. I mean, that's he's just getting better. He's in the process. We forget that. That's the bad thing about the world we're in now is if these freshmen aren't like amazing as freshmen, we're immediately something's wrong with them. But they're just freshmen. There's very few Braden Jacobs. There ain't many of them. And if everybody is in here, Braden Jacobs, if every freshman shows up and they're all starting, well, you hadn't recruited very well and you hadn't developed very well. So guys, just it's a process. But I mean, he's a redshirt freshman. His confidence is growing, his knowledge is growing, his strength. I mean, everything is different for him than where he was last year. Yeah, he was a guy early on that we were like, yeah, he ain't playing. He ain't ready to play. It's going to be we just got to get him back where he's got a good foundation. Because he didn't play his senior year. He got hurt early. So it's really 2 years since he's played football. And, again, you just got to – there's a lot to it. And he's playing nickel. And that you don't just run in there and play nickel. There's a lot to that position. It's a whole different world than playing corner. So he's just growing in his confidence, and proud of him. But yeah, it's just like anybody, man. It's a process of development. We got a lot of players that are great examples of that on this roster. Ryan Linthicum, our center. I mean, how many snaps has he played the last 2 years? He didn't sniff the field for 3 years. But he had a guy named Will Putnam, who I think played almost 30 snaps for the Raiders this weekend. So, it's just sometimes it's just on you from a development standpoint, and then sometimes you just got to be a little patient because of who's there and who's in front of you.
What has happened with Jaden Lucas? Is he just not performing in practice, or
just playing the guys that have earned it, that are playing the best? And, it's not anything to do with J. Lou. It's more what Strozer's done. Strozer has really made a move, and Ashton and AB are playing well for us. So I think Gipp might have got a snap at corner. He might have maybe got in there a play or two at corner as well. But J. Lou's just got to stay ready, and just nothing injury or anything like that. Just Mike just feels like that's the guys that's playing the best.
Seems like you played, I think it's something like a third of the snaps on Saturday. You had 3 defensive ends in the game. That number has seemed to increase. Is that something you guys have deployed more and more as you've gotten into the season?
It's just package. It's just a package. It's based on how the game goes and situations in the game, down and distance, and then again, just down and distance, and then also field position or who they have in the game and what comes off of what they have in the game through your scouting report. That's what dictates those calls and our personnel.
Watching Cade battle through the ankle, the quad, how much has his toughness inspired the locker room this season?
He's got complete respect of this football team. He just battles. He's a warrior, man. You can just count on that. If Cade Klubnik can play, he's going to play. There's a lot of guys that wouldn't be playing, especially guys that know they're going to be going on to the NFL or whatever. Cade's got a bright future. He really does. He's had some tough games here and hadn't gone quite like we wanted it to go. He's had some great moments too, but he's one guy. He's just one player. It's offense, defense, special teams. It takes a lot to win games, but he's a ball player and just getting better and better, and going to have a great future in the NFL. I think he's going to be a great pro. He's got all the arm talent. He just loves ball. Like, this guy was born to play football. Like, he was born to get up, go to the football office, be there all day, and just play football. That's what he loves to do. He's always up here sitting in the meetings, watching tape. He just loves it, and he loves Clemson. He loves Clemson. He loves his teammates. He's a highly respected guy in the locker room, because certainly they know he's a talented player, but just his toughness and his commitment. He's just a relentless competitor.
Any other questions for Coach?
Talking about not telling Kathleen about the 2-point conversion. Are you afraid she's going to tell everybody in town or something like that?
No, I just didn't. There's a lot I don't tell her. I just go home. I try not to bring work home. I try to just go home, and I don't really get much into game plan with Kath. It's probably a good thing.
A little bit of continuity on the offensive line. I think you started the same 5 guys for the first time in a while. How much has that helped, just having a little bit of consistency from that group? A
lot. And Braden's done a great job. He had a couple of miscues the other day. Just, we had one miss ID. He kind of thought it was an odd front, but it was really an even front, and it blocked down. That was the one sack right there. Just miscommunication. But he's doing a great job. But it definitely has been helpful. With Sadler up and down, Tristan's missed some games. Obviously losing Elijah Thurman, big loss for us. We've had it's been some challenges, and again, that's what makes Blake Miller so much more amazing. I mean, he's missed 2 practices in his entire Clemson career. 2 practices. That's it. Started every game since he was a true freshman, which is unbelievable. And then to miss 2 practices in your entire career, it's unheard of. And again, because we've had a lot of other, challenges up and down here and there, moving around, Sadler right or left guard, right guard, left tackle, moving some people, but he's been steady. And then Walker Parks, man, he's been up and down, and I was so happy for Walker the other night, just because. I mean, I'd put him and Cade in that same category. Like, if Walker Parks, if there's any chance at all he could play, he plays. And he's not been anywhere near 100%, but he's as close to it right now as he's been in a while, and he really played good the other night, and it was just awesome. Man, he had a great play on a screen. He got out in the field in space and just buried a guy. I mean, he plays gritty and tough, and he's just I love that kid, man. But we've just, like I said, it's been a mixed bag, but we've also been fortunate because we've had some depth to be able to keep rolling, and still have good players available. So that's been good.
Logan Brooking played a special team snap for you guys. Just with the 3 games left in the season, what we see any other true freshmen kind of get some of those special team or any snaps to kind of get them game reps?
I mean, you might see Keenan, you might see Corey a little bit. Maybe he could pop in there somewhere. I mean, he's got all his games left. He's probably I think he's in the 2 deep. He's in a package or 2 defensively, and maybe some special teams. And Blanchard is probably another guy that could show up if we need him. He's kind of been ready to play all year, and we've been able to hold him. And then Brooking, we went ahead and just put him on special teams. We were holding him for the last 4 games. Man, he's going to be a good player. Juju maybe. He's a guy, depending on what happens, if we had somebody go down or something. Don't really see him like being on special teams unless it was like punt return. He's been, he works hard at that, and that's something probably in his future that you'll see him do. But the arrow is up by Juju. I mean, he's gained 15 to 17 pounds, and he's still just a beanpole. But I mean, he is on his way, and he's just got a smile on his face. I just think he's through the funk, and he's just kind of figuring it out that, hey, I can do this. He's explosive. He's been awesome on the scout team, and when we've been doing some scrimmaging the last few weeks, we've been doing some scrimmaging with the young guys and just keeping them, really football ready, and we've been trying to evaluate a lot of these guys and kind of see where they were, and he's been a bright spot. So I'm excited about him, but I don't see us getting to him unless we had some injuries or something like that. But I do think he's heading in the right direction in all areas. He was heading in the wrong direction in all areas when he first got in here, and just maturity and just I think the totality of where he was and the reality of what he was going to have to do really overwhelmed him, and he's kind of gotten through that. So I'm proud of him. Power Hour's been great. He's bought into it, and he's bought into the nutrition, everything that he's got to do to accentuate his gifts, because he's gifted. I mean, he's a really gifted kid, and he's tough. He's tough. He is a tough-minded guy. So I'm excited about his future.
Still have a shot at bowl eligibility, and the talk has been in the past. It's always important because you get those extra practices. Yeah. In today's world, when you've got all this transfer portal stuff and people moving around and talk about the playoff and how that's the only thing people care about, does it still, in your mind, have that weight of, man, yes, I still would love to have those extra, times to see these kids?
Absolutely. I mean, there's no coach going to say no to that. I mean, if they do, they're probably not a very good coach. I mean, like, you got to, anytime you can play football, you're a football coach, anytime you can go play football, that's a good thing. I mean, that's what you do. How do you get better at football if you don't play football? So I would never turn down the opportunities. Now, I know there's been some cases where teams hadn't had enough players, I mean, and that's a different conversation. But, yeah, you got an opportunity to go play. Man, this team would – I guarantee you these guys, they want to go play another game because they care about each other. Like, they really do. These guys love each other. They're going to be very sad when they can't, share a locker room together. And we've got an incredible – I mean, one of the best, longest bowl eligibility streaks out there. I mean, been going a long, long time before I got here. There's a lot of pride in that too. But hey, you got to go earn it. And we got 3 more games, and we got to find a way to get it done. But they definitely would want to go play again, and it'd be great. I mean, there's a lot of young talent on this team that could really use some bowl type. It's basically you get another spring practice. Is basically what you get.
Talking about Cade playing better, he's over 73%, I think, his last 4 games with 1 turnover, I think. Have you seen something a little different? Is it more about receivers making plays for him? Because he was already okay, but the elevation of his game the last month it pops.
Yeah, I just think, like I said, he didn't play well in the LSU game. That's pretty well documented. And he really, since then, he turned it over twice at Georgia Tech. But he didn't play bad. Those were costly plays, but he really kind of picked it up. And then Syracuse game, he did some good things. Just kind of has been pretty steady, on the football side. We had some tough games. The Duke game, he was amazing. He played great at North Carolina. He played good at Boston College. I mean, it's kind of gotten overshadowed because we hadn't won some of the games, But he, like I said, he can only do his part. But I just think just him being who he is, resetting. I think he was just pressing a little early in the season, and I think he just kind of got through that, and he's just being Cade, just doing his job. And he's just doing his job. He's just having fun playing football, and he's being smart with the ball. So I've been proud of him. But, yeah, receivers honestly have been good all year. I mean, that's been one of the bright spots. I'd put them in the category as our punter. The receiver, they've been good all year. And, we've had a couple. We had, obviously we had the big drop. Probably could have put the game away with Wesco there at Georgia Tech. That probably could have ended it. That was an easy play. We've had a couple of those. But all in all, that I would say the tight ends and the receivers have been a real bright spot for our team. They've been very steady, very consistent all year. And, so I'd say the same thing about, Adam Randall. Well, hello there.
I got a question in the back.
Oh, boy.
Who would you say is the best holder you've had this last decade?
Oh, boy.
Careful.
Well, I don't know, but they all have had a great mom. That's what I would say. That's a tough question. They've all been great. Seth Ryan. Yeah, Seth Ryan was amazing. He was amazing. He's now the receivers coach for the Lions. Seth is great. Anyway, I don't even remember what we were talking about. What were we talking about? I was just talking about, you were asking about Cade receivers. Yeah, I think the receivers have been pretty steady all year. Moment here or there, but they've been a bright spot. Tight end's been a bright spot, very consistent. I think Adam's been he's really helped himself. He's had a good year, man. He's done some good stuff. And now, obviously, Gid coming along. I feel good about that room.
Take one more for Coach if anybody has one.
Cade moving around is obviously a big part of y'all's offense. With the ankle, the quad contusion, how do you feel like his slightly limited mobility has changed stuff, and how could that change stuff?
Yeah, I mean, he's still doing okay. I mean, we just are hanging in there. I mean, he had the one play I mean, he got out of the pocket a couple good times, and I mean, he obviously ran for a touchdown on a pass call, and he just recognized the coverage, and it opened up, and he walked it in. But he got out on the left side. That he tried. He actually had Bencore, but he didn't. You know, if he hits him, fine. But I really wish he'd have just kind of kept running right there. He probably would have gone a good ways, but he's getting better. I mean, he can do what he needs to do. There's not many people 100% this time of year, but he can still do it.
Appreciate your time, Coach.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did you have something, Larry?
Yeah, I was going to ask how much the defensive line is hearing about what happened last year against Louisville when they set the edge.
Well, I don't read nothing, but I'm sure y'all are all reminding them, so I'm sure they hear it a lot. Oh, for me? Oh, yeah, no, they watch the tape, so they don't need to hear it. They watched it. I mean, they rushed for 8 yards carry on us, so they lived it. There's a bunch of them that were here, so they know. We ain't got to spend a lot of time talking about last year. That's one area too. We've done a much better job in our rush defense. We've been a lot better. We were horrible. That has been a much improved part of our defense. So been pleased with that.
Clay just said to
get a little
remind
better on. What's that?
Clay just said to remind you that you're the only Swinney that's never scored.
That's true. In college, I got tackled on the one. Still frustrated about that. First catch went I think it was 18 yards. Caught an outcut my sophomore year, playing Cincinnati. Ironically, the coordinator was Lovett, who was here when I came to Clemson. But yeah, I caught a little bootleg out the back door, Legion Field. Gary Hollingsworth, corner dives at me. I sidestep the corner and I'm gone. And I mean, it's my first ever catch. And I don't see the backside safety come. I mean, literally all I had to do was dive. But anyway, I was such an unselfish guy. I wanted the running back to get the touchdown.
You didn't extend.
Yeah, I didn't extend. All I had to do was just dive in there. But I think I was just scared to death. Like, you know, it was like the whole world was slow motion. This is happening. This is my first catch, and I'm going to score a touchdown. And not so fast. Then I got overthrown a couple times. But yeah, it's all right. All right, that's some good yak. Good play. I had a sack in the first ever championship game. Sacked the punter. Steve Spurrier's punter. I sacked him. It was the biggest TFL of the year, by the way. This ain't on TV.
Tough act to follow.
Yeah, tough shoes to follow.